Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again, and the spirit of the dog spoke to him, telling him how the wicked people had burned the mill made from the pine tree. Take the ashes of the mill, sprinkle them on the withered trees, and they will bloom again, said the dog spirit. Not long after the wicked couple had destroyed the tools, that the old man saw the dog spirit in his dream. The spirit told him how cruelly the wicked couple had burned the tools made from the pine tree. The dog spirit then instructed the old man to take the ashes of the mill and sprinkle them on the withered trees to make them bloom again. The old man awoke and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of their square fireplace, in the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning. From time to time they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze from some bits of the mill, while behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces. After the dream got over, what the old man has done, the good old man awoke, and at once he went to the wicked couple's house. There he saw the wicked couple sitting at the edge of their fireplace, which was a square in shape in the middle of the floor. They were smoking and becoming dizzy, and from time to time they kept their hands and feet near the blazing fire made from some bits of the mill and made themselves warm. Behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces which the couple were using to keep the fire blazing. The good old man humbly asked for the ashes, though the covetous couple turned up their noses at him and scolded him as if he were a thief. They let him fill the basket with the ashes. On coming home, the old man took his wife into the garden. It being winter, their favorite cherry tree was bare. He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it, and lo, it sprouted blossoms until it became a cloud of pink blooms which perfumed the air. The news of this filled the village, and everyone ran out to see the wonder. The old man asked politely for the ashes to the wicked couple, and the greedy couple treated him harshly and scolded him as if he were a thief. He was a thief. Nevertheless, they let him fill the basket with ashes, as they had no idea that the ashes would have the power to make trees bloom. On coming home, the old man brought his wife into the garden, and in the garden there was a cherry blossom, which was withered due to the winter season. And the cherry blossom happened to be the couple's favorite tree. So the old man decided to make the tree bloom, to flower again. He took just a pinch of the ashes and sprinkled it on the tree. Instantly, the tree sprouted blossoms until it became so full that it looked like a pink cloud, which perfumed the air with a cherry blossom fragrance. The news of this phenomenon spread throughout the village. Everyone ran out to the old couple's house to see the wonder. The covetous couple also heard the story, and gathering up the remaining ashes of the mill, kept them to make withered trees blossom. The kind old man, hearing that his lord, the daimyo, wanted to pass along the high road near the village, set out to see him. Taking his basket of ashes, as the train approached, he climbed up into an old withered cherry tree that stood by the wayside. The greedy old couple also heard the story, the miraculous story, and they gathered up the remaining ashes of the mill and kept it safe with them to make withered trees bloom. While the old man heard that his lord, who was the daimyo, was going to pass along the high road near the village. High road means the main road. And he set out to see the lord, taking his basket of ashes with him. And as the procession approached, the old man climbed up an old withered cherry tree that stood at the edge of the road. Now, in the days of the daimyos, it was the custom when their lord passed by for all the loyal people to shut up their high windows. They even pasted them fast with a slip of paper so as not to commit the impertinence of looking down on his lordship. All the people along the road would fall upon their hands and knees and remain prostrate until the procession passed by. In this paragraph, we get to know that in the old days, it was the custom for all the loyal people to either shut their high windows or to remain prostrate. Prostrate means laying on the ground, face that is in downward position. And if they were on the road until the train passed by, means if they are standing on the road, they will lay on the ground facing their face downside. And the people even pasted their windows with a slip of paper if somehow their windows wouldn't get closed properly. This was done in order to have a good image in front of the daimyo. The train drew near. One tall, competent man marched ahead, crying out to the people by the way, "Get down on your knees, get down on your knees." And everyone kneeled down while the procession was passing. Suddenly, the leader of the van caught sight of the aged man up in the tree. He was about to call out to him in an angry tone, but seeing he was such an old fellow, he pretended not to notice him and passed him by. So when the daimyo's palanquin drew near, the old man, taking a pinch of ashes from his basket, scattered it over the tree. In a moment, it burst into blossom. The procession was getting near. A tall and skillful man was marching ahead, who was ordering people to get down on their knees, and everyone obeyed him. However, the old man who was on the cherry blossom tree was standing rather than being in a prostrate position. The leader of the van caught sight of him. He was about to order him angrily when he saw that he was such an old man and that it would be better to ignore him. As the van drew nearer, the old man took a pinch of the ashes from his basket and sprinkled on the tree. In a moment, the flowers bloomed. The delighted daimyo ordered the train to be stopped and got out to see the wonder. Calling the old man to him, he thanked him and ordered presents of silk robes, sponge cakes, fans, and other rewards to be given him. He even invited him to his castle. So the old man went gleefully home to share his joy with his dear old wife. The daimyo was delighted to see a withered cherry blossom tree suddenly sprout beautiful cherry blossoms, and he ordered the train to be stopped and got out to see the wonder. He called the old man and thanked him. He ordered presents of silk robes, sponge cakes, fans, and other luxurious things to be given to him. The daimyo even invited him to his castle. The old man gleefully went home to share this good news with his dear old wife. But when the greedy neighbor heard of it, he took some of the magic ashes and went out on the highway. There he waited until a daimyo's train came along, and instead of kneeling down like the crowd, he climbed a withered cherry tree. The story of the wonder spread throughout the village, and eventually the wicked couple came to know about it. And the greedy man took some of the ashes which had magical powers and went out on the highway. He did just as the old man did. He waited till the Lord's train came by, and instead of following the custom of remaining prostrate, he climbed a withered cherry blossom tree. When the daimyo himself was almost directly under him, he threw a handful of ashes over the tree, which did not change a particle. The wind blew the fine dust in the noses and eyes of the Dharma and his wife. Such a sneezing and choking. It spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession. The man whose business it was to cry, "Get down on your knees," seized the old fool by the collar, dragged him from the tree, and tumbled him and his ash basket into the ditch by the rod. Then beating him soundly, he left him for dead. So here we can see when the Lord, the Daimyo himself, was right under the tree, the wicked man threw a pinch, not a pinch, but a handful of the ashes over the tree. The ashes didn't transform the withered tree into a blooming one. Instead, what happened? The ashes remained ashes only. And the ashes fell on the Lord and his wife. And since they were a lot of ash, it made the couple sneeze and choke, which ruined the pride and dignity of the procession. The man who had the duty of ordering people to get down on their knees seized the wicked old fool by the collar, dragged him from the tree, and threw him and his basket full of ash into the ditch by the road. As a punishment, he beat the old man soundly and left him on the spot to die. Thus the wicked old man died in the mud, but the kind friend of the dog dwelt in peace and plenty, and both he and his wife lived to a green old age. So the story ends with the wicked old man dying in the mud and the kind friend of the dog dwelling in peace with wife a green old age.